My name is Beverly Gower-Jones. I'm the managing partner of the Clean Growth Fund, and I'm the CEO of its sister company, Carbon Limiting Technologies. The Clean Growth Fund is a venture capital fund. We have 101 million of assets under management, and Carbon Limiting Technologies is a consulting firm which provides consulting services to clients in and around low carbon technology innovation and steps to decarbonise corporate companies. We're very much looking forward to coming to Innovation Zero. It's a great opportunity to meet with other like-minded investors, to meet entrepreneurs who are with their startup companies who are looking for funding, but also to engage in the wider ecosystem, such as corporates and regulators and supply chain firms, all of whom are on this decarbonisation journey across all the myriad of different sectors that it impacts, including power and transport, buildings, industry, agriculture. And so we're very excited about the opportunity to engage in that ecosystem and contribute towards the race to net zero. Investing in early stage clean tech is important because a lot of the decarbonisation challenges that we have need technology to overcome them, and that technology needs to be created from innovation from all its various different sources, and that innovation in turn needs funding so that it can be commercialised, that it can grow and scale and go through the technology development. So Boston Consulting Group have estimated that there's something like 40% of the technology we need to get to net zero we still don't have yet, and so there is a massive opportunity, and clearly there's a lot to do to get to the place where we can actually reach our net zero targets. We have a number of ways of assessing and validating the investments that we make. One of those is through a climate assessment report. So for each company that we're considering making an investment in, we ask the company to estimate how much carbon or greenhouse gas emission reduction could be saved potentially from one unit of a product or service, and then critically what the cost per tonne of that saving would be. And then we look over 5 and 10 years at the projected sales forecasts and say, okay, for that particular company, their potential to save greenhouse gas emissions is this in 5 years and Y in 10 years. We then have that independently assessed by an expert in the art who is qualified and capable of making, reviewing those estimates and just understanding those assumptions and making sure that they're reasonable and sensible. And that report and those findings then go towards our investment committee. In terms of kind of finding the companies in the first place and deciding what to make investments in, we do that in a number of ways. So one of the things that we do is landscape mapping. So we take a particular area of interest and then we look at what the regulatory environment is for that particular area, what we think the size of the market is for that area, what we think the key barriers and challenges are, and we look at which SMEs are innovating. So the Clean Growth Fund works in the UK, and so that's our kind of focus is UK SMEs, and that work is actually undertaken by Carbon Limiting Technologies on behalf of the Clean Growth Fund. And from that we can then ascertain which SMEs we think are differentiating in a particular space, and then proactively look to build those relationships and see see when and where they're ready for fundraising. I think it's a bit of a mixed picture. So a year or two ago we had a number of funds launch in the climate tech space across Europe, which I think was really needed and very much welcomed. I think that's dropped off a little bit. but the appetite from fund managers to run and raise a climate fund has increased. So I think there's a lot more proposals out there that are being put to institutional investors, from which they can select. So that's I think that's very interesting. However, when we look across the piece, I think the key thing is the joined up funding ladder. So entrepreneurs spend too much time trying to find investment. And I don't think there's enough investment in the UK at the early stages, which is, of course, why one of the reasons I founded the Clean Growth Fund in the first place, the massive opportunity and the huge need. But then also at the scale up stage, as those companies scale and grow through, there aren't so many investors doing that Series B and C either. What we actually need is a joined up approach, so that entrepreneurs can concentrate and focus on running their businesses and find then the investment that they need when they need it. I think a joined up approach between public and private is important. And very much needed. If you look at something like carbon capture or hydrogen, then the market needs to be made for those technology solutions, which is clearly something the government's very actively involved in and working on, which is good. But at the end of the day, it needs private investment to really scale and commercialize those technologies to mass market adoption. And there's an absolute role for corporates in that, as well as financiers, to kind of drive those things forward, either through routes to market or as being end user adopters of those types of solutions. So it requires a joined up collaboration effort from everybody in the ecosystem, and I think that's one of the challenges of beating the clean tech and reaching net zero is no one player, no one organization can do that on its own. It really needs that joined up thinking and everybody working together. I'm really excited about meeting promising startup companies in the UK that are looking for that seed Series A investment. So really welcome them to come and approach the Clean Growth Fund. I'm really looking forward to seeing corporates who are trying to decarbonize their portfolios, that want to talk with carbon limiting technologies about how they best approach that challenge and which technologies there are out there, what types of open innovation programs they're looking at. And also co-investors, others like ourselves who are looking to work together to support the portfolio companies. We need to go faster. We need to do 5 times faster in this next decade than we have done in the last 2 decades together. And so we absolutely have to get on with it. We have to put a pedal to the metal, and we really, really need to accelerate the rate of progress.